fucking like do some jiu-jitsu, bro. This is gonna be an interesting combo. Let's get it.
All right, we're live. David Pechillo in the building.
What up?
My dog.
Yes.
We wanted to get you on for a while, dude. So I'm happy we're making it happen.
Thank you, bro.
Let's go. So yeah, dude, how long has it been since we met? Maybe like almost a year? Or
I think it'll be a year in July.
A year in July.
Yeah, so pretty close.
Yeah, man. So why don't you give people who don't know you just a little bit of background, kind of quick Wikipedia page about yourself, and then we'll dive into it.
So I'd like to preface this by saying there's a lot to this story. So, but other than that, I work for a company called Connector. We are like a local services app that basically connects local creatives with people that need their services, and you can also offer your services on the app and make money online on our app and web platform. So right now we're doing all kinds of stuff because of what's going on. Obviously, coronavirus is fucking everything up, for lack of a better term. But yeah, man, I basically met Tommie because I was actually in New Jersey and I was going through insane drug withdrawal, and I found Kogan Dojo online while I was in Jersey, which is like, this is like a weird serendipitous thing. That's why I'm saying I'm going to be all over the place, but this is like a long story.
Yeah, because a lot of it's new to me too.
Yeah, you probably don't know any of this.
Right.
So I was so sick, man, for so long, and even when I was still, like, I'll get into this more later on, but even when I was still getting high, I used to ride back and forth from Maryland or to Jersey and vice versa to pick up drugs. And I would listen to Rogan like the whole way there. You know, it's a good podcast. So I got 3.5 hours to kill there and back, man. It's a 7-hour drive. I was insane at that point. So, but after hearing like him and Eddie and everybody talk about jiu-jitsu, and just like Jean-Jacques was on there and all kinds of people, I was like, dude, this sounds like awesome, man. Like, it really seems like it changes all their lives. Like, when I get clean, I'm going to do this. Like, this is what I'm going to do. Wow. So, way long story short, when I did decide to get clean, I found you guys online, and then I remember hitting you up, or I don't know who I actually talked to.
It was probably me.
It probably was you. Yeah. Because I messaged on Facebook, and I was like, hey, I'm probably going to be moving back to Maryland soon. Like, I want to come in and see what it's about. And they were just like, all right, let us know when you come. So I just, like, backburnered it for a second. Gotcha. It took me, like, 2 months, man. Like, dude, at one point, I couldn't even, like, really walk, dude. Like, it was bad, bro. Yeah. Like, you got to relearn pretty much everything. It was, like, probably 9.5 years of, like, insane drug abuse.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's a lot, dude. So, fast forward, I remember coming in to see you. Yeah. Because we had texted back and forth a little bit, and we kept, like, missing each other. I feel like for like maybe like a week.
Yes.
Because I was like, oh, I'm going to be here this day, but not this day. And you were like, oh, I'm busy this day and not this day. And I remember going into Tommie, and I think I took my first class with Ike. I think that's what it was.
Yeah. I remember your first class.
Dude, and this is actually a funny story too, if Ike ever sees this. He'll appreciate this. So I remember, you know, they teach everybody like the basics, man. Like, you know, they go through like this is guard, this is this.
I call it Ike's first day spiel.
Right.
If he agrees.
Right. And this is like, you have no idea what the fuck is going on, bro. You're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense, but none of it does, really. You just think it does. And he was like, do you want to go? We were going to roll. Everybody's going to roll. And he was like, do you want to go from stand-up or do you want to go from, like, the ground? And I was like, nah, fuck, let's do stand-up, man. Like, dude, and I, like, just got over, like, drug withdrawal for, like, 10 years and all this crazy shit. I was so weak at that point, man. And I remember just me and Ike, like, just kind of, like, dancing around. He was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, I think he, like, saw, like, maybe, you know, all right, if you want to, we can go. And he slammed me and, like, I think put me in, like, side control or something. And I remember my rib popped. You remember when I had that rib injury? So that was actually Ike. Like, I love you, but that was that. So that happened that day, that first day. And we rolled a little bit. He destroyed me, dude. I mean, he's an amazing black belt. And, I remember walking into your office and just being, like, in pain and loving it at the same time, bro. And I was just like, look, dude, like, I just got clean off of heroin. Like, this is what I want to do. I want to do this, that, and the third with my life. And that was that, bro. Yeah. And you signed me up right there, I think, pretty much.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, which is fantastic. That place is like family now, so.
Dude, yeah, Kogan, it's incredible, man. The people that I've met through Kogan, including yourself, is awesome, man.
Likewise, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So it's cool, man. So how long have you been clean for, and how long?
Now, so January 16th is the date. Damn. So it's like a year and some change.
Damn.
It's been pretty good, man. Everything has move quickly when you're doing the right thing.
Yeah,
it's
man.
amazing.
That's part of why I wanted to get you on the podcast. Because I remember, and we were talking a little bit, off camera, but I remember you had one post where you were just talking about like how far you've came in a year,
for sure,
and just some of the stuff from your past, and I was like, damn, like, good for him, because seeing where he is now, I would have never expected that he was like at rock bottom, so to speak.
Oh,
before.
dude, I was homeless at one point. I was probably like, not the worst you can be. There's definitely people that are in like way worse positions, but I feel like in order to get in that crazy position where you're homeless for like years, you really have to just not want to do anything about it. So like after I was homeless for a little bit, and like then that's another long story, but I ended up moving back in with my mom for a little bit in Jersey, which is why I was there. And I was just like, dude, I'm done. I wrecked like 5 cars in a year, bro.
Damn.
Totaled them all. Like, and when I say totaled, I'm talking like, one time, dude, I was so high that there was nobody on the road, bro. And I just swerved off the road and hit a telephone pole going like maybe 55 miles an hour. Something like, the car was like a little Toyota Corolla, dude. It was destroyed, bro. And I'm just like, somebody must have called an ambulance. I guess somebody like drove by.
Yeah.
And, so I'm walking outside the car and just walking around, and the EMS come by, and they're like, "Who's in the car? Who's in the car? Like, are they hurt? Whatever. Like, did you see what happened?" I was like, "Oh, I was in the car." And they're like, "You're walking right now? Like, what? Are you okay?" And I was totally fine.
Damn.
Yeah, like definitely somebody looking out for me, bro.
Dude, seriously,
because it's been a lot of crazy shit. In a year, I've definitely, like, I think, come farther than most people will in 5.
Yeah, man.
Only because like my drive and motivation is so crazy right now.
Yeah.
Like even we were talking about what I did for a workout today, bro.
Yeah, man. Tell people, because it's nuts, man.
Dude, so I just went out in the rain today. I did an entire kettlebell workout for an hour, and then I walked probably 1.5 miles with a kettlebell in my hand, barefoot in the rain, bro.
Crazy,
on concrete.
bro.
Like I just don't care, man.
Yeah.
Like my mentality now is like, if it's not gonna kill me, like it's gonna make you mentally strong, regardless of what it is. And I feel like people are super afraid to put themselves in a position where they're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But jiu-jitsu, bro, you're uncomfortable all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's constant. You're in positions that you don't want to be in constantly. But it really taught me, I think, how to take everything like in little small bites and set small goals. And then after that, once you reach that, you just go to the next one, bro.
Yeah.
Don't worry about all of this shit.
That's important.
All that shit gives people anxiety. It just crushes you.
Yeah.
I feel like, dude. So yeah, man. I guess that's like the short version of that.
That's crazy.
Well, we'll get into it more, but
Yeah.
But I mean, how much have you feel like jiu-jitsu has helped with just being able to grow? And because one of the reasons I really wanted to get you on is just because like your energy, your positivity, and just like you said, your drive is cool to see. So how much has like jiu-jitsu helped you with being able to get over that, and then also to help you with some of the growth?
So I will say, when I got clean, the reason I really wanted to do this is when you're on heroin for like a really long time, your testosterone is like so low. So afterwards it just shoots up, and your body just like, you just want to do something like primal almost, like, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you just really want to fight, like, and I think that's why, or something, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how like edited this is going to be, but you just want to fuck and fight and just live life. You're just like, yes, I'm a man again. It feels good. So like, dude, I don't know, like all of that I think contributed to me like, dude, let me do this thing. This is like super physical. If I force myself to go every day for like a couple months, I know I can do this all the time, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of person I am really anyway. It just depends on what I like, really.
Right,
so
right.
I like drugs forever, so I did drugs for a long time. That was just my thing, dude. So like it really helped me realize like, oh, you can find an outlet for addiction in this and get addicted to this like in a healthy way. And working out and just being healthy, eating healthy and everything, if you start to focus the knife in the right direction, I think, my bad.
No, you're good.
I think you can do a lot with your life, man.
Yeah.
I think it's helped me like immensely. And work, everything. It teaches me to be super patient. Like, you're a white belt too, man.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You come in and you'll have a good day and you'll roll. And this class of like, people like our level, maybe a little bit lower. Look, couple, it's like a brown belt and like 2 blue belts. You get smashed by them or whatever. But then you come in the next day and you realize it's a class full of higher belts, like Doug's class or Billy's class, and you just get demolished, bro. And you're like, dude, I know nothing, dude.
Right.
I just need to take this like step by step and be as patient as possible, dude. Like, I think I'd like to preach that too, like patience, bro, in everything that you do. Like, even you with this podcast, dude. Like, I remember, like, dude, I think I texted you about this the other day.
Yeah.
When you had like 100 followers, now you have like 700.
Yeah.
And it's in the span of like a couple months, bro. And it's like, dude, just be patient.
Right.
Keep working, dude.
Yeah.
Like, this is cool. You know what I mean?
Setup,
Yeah, I gotta say that too, man. Like, all the people that have been on here, I watch all of them.
Yeah, you've been
I watch all of them,
supporting
bro.
me more than anybody,
dude.
honestly.
Because I fuck with it, man.
Yeah.
Like, if I didn't, I wouldn't. Like, that's honestly, like, I like you a lot.
Yeah.
But if I thought it sucked, like, I wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? I would support you, but I wouldn't like watch every single one, dude. You know what I mean? If it's good, it's good, dude.
Yeah, man.
Like, the content is good. It's like, you have people on here that are like motivational in such a positive way that I feel like, even if it doesn't relate to your life at all, because some of them are like crazy athletes and stuff. I'm like, dude, I can't relate to it. Like, that's wild. Like, I've never been that, but you can take little bites from all these people and just put it in your pocket, dude.
Exactly.
And then when you go to do something, you're like, nah, dude, I'll just take this, take it out of my pocket and use it as a weapon, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's
positive way.
That's one thing I really try to do is have like, and even when like if I'm listening to a podcast or if I'm reading a book or something, just try to like, and like it's like a jiu-jitsu seminar, bro. It's like or a class even. There's so much knowledge like that's being given to you, and that
you'll never remember it all.
Right. So if you can just maybe pocket one or two things, maybe it comes back later or something like that. So yeah, man, that's definitely what I've been trying to do. But yeah, like I said, you've been mad supportive, man.
Oh, for sure, dude.
And I do want to talk about what you have going on now, but just talking a little bit more about just the past. So you said 9 years.
Yeah, 9.5, bro.
That's crazy. So
basically my whole 20s. I'm
really?
30, so yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Well, you do look younger, so that's a good thing.
It's preserved. Man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But so I mean, like, how, if you don't mind me asking, like, how did it start for you, man? Like, how'd you get into it? And then I would imagine just the process of being addicted to drugs, like, and having to find some way to get off it, because I've heard stories and stuff is a beast. So talk about that a little bit if you don't mind.
For sure. So it started because, and I think if anybody knows me, I'll say this first, like, I'm not the guy to like hit stuff or like get real angry. If that's like, you really gotta like,
I can see that.
Yeah, I'm like pretty calm and chill most of the time. Like, I have a lot of energy, but it's not like angry energy. But I think as a kid, I was more angry. I think there was like divorce involved and all kind of just growing up shit, man. Like, my mom lost her house at one point. It was my mom's like a great mom. My dad's a great dad, but I think they just hated each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't a good marriage and shit like that. Now that I'm older, I realize that. But I was having a conversation with my dad one day, and me and him just were like getting into it on the phone just randomly. And dude, I was like a kid at that point, and he said something to me like, I just don't want you to be my son anymore. Damn. And it was like, it was out of anger. Like, my dad's a great dude, we're straight now, but and then we had like, I was young and he was just doing his thing. Yeah. I feel like we would butt heads. And I remember just hanging up the phone, and I just was so upset, man. And I punched the wall as hard as I could. Damn. Right? And I looked down, and my ring finger and my pinky finger and part of my middle finger was pushed all the way back to my wrist. So, dude, I hit a stud in the wall and just crushed my hand. Damn. Pretty much. So, like, for all intents and purposes, this is my fault, really. But, so it didn't hurt right away, and I'm looking at my hand like, dude, what the fuck, bro? And then the pain set in. I was like, fuck, man. I screamed, and my mom came up and saw my hand, rushed me to the hospital. And long story short, that it was in a soft cast for a minute. They had to decide how they wanted to do surgery on it to fix it. They were like, you're probably not going to have full use of your hand, like, permanently. Like, maybe like 20% less than normal, 30%. So I'm like, fuck, man. I'm not even be able to close my hand or anything. So luckily I had a good surgeon. So they did this surgery where they just made like 2 little holes, and they moved all the bones around, and actually re-broke some of them. Damn. And connected it all to my wrist with like, I think 3 pins. But what it was, they hung out of my hand, like a hook was on the end, hanging out of my hand, inside of a hard cast. So you can imagine, like, they just started prescribing me painkillers, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, this is like a lot of people's story, too.
Right,
I feel like with how they get started, man. They just get hurt or like some shit happens. But when they were prescribing me painkillers, not the surgeon, but just the doctor, like, they don't, at that point in time, this was like, I think 10 years ago too, man. like, I feel like they didn't know what they know, or they knew, but they just didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, now it's so hard. Like, you really have to fucking hurt yourself to get painkillers
It's
nowadays.
good,
Yeah,
but
which is good
yeah.
for sure. But they, for all, like, purposes, gave a kid, like, a shitload of refills on painkillers. And I was in a cast for 6 months. So, and then rehab afterwards for, like, 3. So it was almost a year, man. It was a long time to fix my hand. So I was on painkillers that entire time.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe halfway through that, I remember calling to get another refill. They had given me, like, 12 refills at this point. And, is that still working?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, they gave me, like, 12 refills, and the doctor was just like, I think you're liking these a little too much. I'm going to, like, try to give you something else. I'm going to give you Vicodin. And they were giving me, like, Percocets at that point. Anybody who does drugs, like, Vicodin for all purposes is like a Tylenol, dude. Like, when you're addicted to drugs, like, it's not doing anything for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I took those, and then I was still sick. Like, I was still getting sick because I had been taking painkillers for, like, I don't know, 7 months now or something like that. So I knew, long story short, because I maybe should keep this one short. I knew a kid whose parents sold drugs at that time, but I didn't know what. Because really, before then, I really just, like, drank, smoked a little weed.
Yeah.
And I was, like, pretty normal in that respect. And I started getting them off the street. And it just got out of control, bro. Like, it was one of those things where I was young. I probably should have known better, but I was, like, still working and going to school, and everything was straight. So I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like, these just take away all the, like, anger and anxiety I have, and also the pain and everything that I'm dealing with. And I think I just used it as, like, a crutch, maybe. And then I did that for about, like, maybe 3 or 4 years. And that's, like, there's so many stories in between that we probably can't even cover all that, man. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But fast forward, I ended up, one time, a girl I was dating at that point, we were, like, using together. And we ran out of money, man. And, like pills at that point were, like, $30 a pill. So you figure we were doing, like, 10 a piece a day. It's $300 a person a day. It's $600 a day. If you do the math, it's a lot of fucking money, bro. So one of my friends was like, dude, why don't you just start doing heroin? Like, as bad as that sounds.
No, I've heard that at least a couple times.
For sure.
Know, that's the where the transition happens is due to, like, money.
Oh, for sure.
When it comes to pills versus heroin.
For sure. And when you first start doing it, so yeah, like, basically, you know, they recommended that. We were like, no. And then you get sick enough where you really just don't give a shit, bro. You just want it to stop, really. So we went and got some, and we had, like, maybe, like, $100, but you get, like, 10 of them for $100, right? Like, either, like, baggies or little vials or whatever your dealer does, you know?
Yeah.
And at first, you can do, like, one of those, and you're straight, like, all day, because it's so much more potent. But after, like, 2 weeks of doing that, dude, your tolerance is so crazy, man, that, like, you probably have to do, like, 10 times that amount. So the money is actually, like, more.
Oh,
like,
shit.
eventually.
Gotcha.
Yeah, eventually your addiction just becomes, you're like a bull, dude. Like, they could, like, try to, like, give you anesthesia, and they really have to be like, oh, we probably have to give them more, because, you know what I mean? Your tolerance is just so high to opiates and shit like that. It's crazy. So, yeah, there was a lot of turmoil after that, dude. Like, crazy shit. Like, we lost, like, 2 apartments. I had I'm not going to get into how I got it, but I had, like, a $75,000 Mercedes, dude. I lost that, got repoed out of the front of my apartment. Yeah, bro, like, I was doing all kinds of shady shit, too. We'll save that one for another podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, man, so I ended up getting arrested, like, twice.
Damn.
Just for having, like, I got caught with a bunch of pills. I was, like, selling them, and then just, because you figure I could sell them for 3 times as much and go buy 3 times the amount of heroin. So I was like, flipping shit, too. Yeah, so I got in trouble for that, and then we ended up having to move away from each other, me and her. And I moved to Jersey with my mom, and I would literally, for, like, I think, like, 2 years, the last 2 years of my addiction, I didn't know any connects in Jersey, and if I found somebody, their stuff was so shitty compared to the shit I was getting. Like, Shout out that guy, whoever that guy was. He had good shit. But yeah, and he actually treated me like a person, which is weird. That doesn't happen often. But yeah, it was like my connect here was so good, dude, that I would drive from Jersey to Maryland and get shit and like break her off some, and then take care of her, whatever she needed, which is not taking care of her, I realize now. But you know, at that point, you're like, I just don't want you to hurt, so here,
right,
like whatever. So, and then I drive back. Sometimes the same day. Sometimes I'd sleep in my car, bro. I was just high, I didn't care, you know. So that went on for a while, and dude, that's when I would like wreck the cars and stuff. Like
like on the drive,
yeah, man, just like, dude, like you're talking like you get so sick. And you have to now drive 4 hours to go get shit, right? Where most people can't really even drive like 20 minutes. So I think I'm probably mentally and physically tougher than most people when it comes, because of all of this.
For sure.
Like, even a lot of my friends are like, dude, your pain tolerance is like ridiculous. And I'm like, yeah, dude, because I just was in pain every day for years and years and years. So I guess it turned out to be kind of a cool thing now, but sucked then.
Yeah.
And I would drive all that way and literally just have like a bucket in my lap and just throw up just the whole way, dude. Just puke the whole way, puke up blood sometimes, bro. Like, my body was so beat up. My kidneys failed and my liver for a minute. I was in the hospital for a little bit, and I signed myself out. Dude, they were just basically like, we want to keep you here for a week. Dude, and I'm like, I'm a drug addict. I'm not staying here for a week, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got shit to do. Like, as bad as that sounds, like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
So I was there for like 2 days, and they were like, if you sign yourself out, you could die. Like, you know that. And all the nurses are standing around me and shit. And I'm just like, just give me the paper. And I just signed it and I rolled, dude. And then that's when I ended up being homeless, because I had crashed a car on the way to get shit. I ended up getting shit, and I basically, through various means, ended up in the hospital because I passed out in the snow outside of somebody's house. So it turns out my kidneys were failing because I was so dehydrated that I don't know if you've ever been like extremely dehydrated, like you're gonna die dehydrated, but you don't know up from down, dude. It's like the drunkest you've ever been in your life, probably like times 5.
Really?
It's just, I was literally walking and I would just hit the concrete like with my head and get back up and not know if I was standing up or not, and have to like, and I knew something was wrong. So I ran to this lady's door. Dude, this is like 2 a.m, bro. And I know they thought maybe I was trying to rob them or something. I looked like shit, bro. I don't even blame them. They were old people. And I was like, can you like call somebody? Or so they called police, you know what type of time it is. So the cops come, and they were like, thinking I was drunk and stuff at first. And I was like, no. And I didn't have any shit on me. I didn't have any left.
Yeah.
So they were like, are you like okay? And I told them what the situation was. He was like, I think you're like dehydrated, dude. I think you need to go to the hospital. So like I said, I ended up there for 2 days. And afterwards, I was just homeless, man.
That's nuts.
Yeah, like through various circumstances, like my mom was having like a huge financial problem at the time. And she was like, I can't get you home till like a couple weeks from now. Like, I know that sucks, but do you have anybody you can stay with or whatever? Because, dude, an Uber from here to Jersey is fucking expensive, bro. It's like $650. It's ridiculous, dude. So, dude, I was on the street for a little bit, and I'm talking on the street with like $1. Damn. Maybe like $2. So I was like going into homeless shelters and just eating whatever they had there and like taking a piss and leaving, because I honestly, like, even though I was one of those people, I was like, dude, I don't want to be here. Like, you just don't want to be there, you know? And I remember that I was outside of, I don't know if you're familiar, dude, like Brooklyn Park. There's like a Royal Farms on the corner. I don't know it too well. Yeah, good. No. That's a good thing. And I was outside of like a fast food place, and I had charged my phone in a fast food place. I still had my phone, but it was shattered to pieces, dude, from that night where I just fell all over the place. And I texted this girl, or not texted her, but I put out a message on Facebook, and I was like, hey, like, does anybody have a place I could stay? Like, I'm homeless right now. Like, I didn't even care what people thought, dude. I was just hurting bad, bro. I hadn't eaten in like 2 days, maybe 3. It was getting bad, dude. It was getting like where I was like scared for my safety.
Right.
Which I should have been earlier, but yeah. So, some random girl that I don't know, I knew, like, I worked with somebody, and she knew this person. But I never met her. And she hit me up and was like, where are you? I'm going to come pick you up. Right? And I was just like, really? Like, you're going to come pick me up? Like, who are you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is this? Right? And she's like, I promise, I'll be there, send me the address, right? And I sent her the address, my phone died. So I don't know if she's coming, dude. I'm just sitting outside this fast food place like, maybe she's going to come, maybe she's not. I don't know. Hopefully she does. Praying to God she does. So she shows up, picks me up. This girl took me, I'll just put it out there, dude. She took me to get shit so I wasn't sick, which she did not have to do, dude. She was bringing me back to her house. Like, first of all, she doesn't know me from Adam, dude. So I could have been a fucking axe murderer, bro. Yeah, right. Like, and she's a woman. Like, you know, all the, we're not even going to go there, but there's weird shit. People are weird, bro, you know? Yeah. So, like, she basically took me to get just enough stuff for the night. And she was like, tomorrow you're going to get clean, though. Like, I'm going to do this for you. And I'm like, who the fuck is this person, man? Like, guardian angel weird shit, right? So she takes me back to her house, and dude, I'm talking like I was like throwing up on this girl's floor. Like, I couldn't move, dude. I was so sick. She was just like, it's cool. Like, she made me food, cleaned up after me. Like, dude, and like, she was like, I'm talking the kind of trust this girl has. She was going to work while I was there. Dude, I could have robbed her blind. Like, I was a junkie, dude. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? I could have just robbed her and left, man. But I didn't. Because I'm not, you know, a piece of shit when it comes to that. I knew she was taking care of me and she was looking out for me. So I was there for like maybe 4 days, and I don't know, bro. I think maybe 5, maybe like a week. Wow. And she took care of me, and then one morning I just woke up, dude, and I was like having tremors and shaking and just like throwing up and stuff, and I was like, I cannot do this. Like, I just can't. And she was like, look, I'm going to get you on a bus back to your mom so you can have time to do this. Yeah. She was like, because obviously if I could keep you here, I would, but I can't keep you here for 6 months or some shit, right? And I was like, dude, I couldn't have gotten on the bus, dude. They would have kicked me off, bro. They would have been like, what's up with this kid? Bring him to a hospital, you know what I mean? So I would have just ended up in the same position. So she bought me more shit so I could be straight for the bus ride back, dude. And this, like, I'm talking, she spent like $400 on me also. Then paid for the bus ride home, which was like $250, right? And got me home to my mom. So this girl is like, shout out Nicole. She knows who she is. That's crazy. Yeah, we still talk to this day.
Good.
Yeah, she's awesome, dude. She's like busy all the time, but you know how it goes. But she's awesome. And yeah, man. So she like kind of saved my life, dude. And like a roundabout, yeah, for sure. I think if I wouldn't have had her, I might have been like dead in an alley or next to Royal Farms or some shit, bro. About, man. Very, man. But it's also like I'm blessed, dude. Super. Yeah. I've gotten like super lucky with all this. Like, I've done a lot of shit. It's never came back on me. Like, you know, knock on wood. But I've gotten really lucky. Yeah. So I went to my mom's and I just was like, dude, after that girl did that for me, I cannot do this anymore, man. Like. I got like almost owe it to her like, because I told her like, I promise you I'm gonna do this, like, and I said in my head, I was like, dude, you're just gonna stop lying and stealing and cheating and robbing and doing all this crazy shit, and this, you're gonna keep your word. If you can just keep your word this time, you can keep it forever. You know what I mean? No matter what you do, right? So I'm like, okay, and I just buckled in and I didn't go to rehab. I didn't do any of that. I've never been to rehab. Really? I did it on my own, dude, in a bedroom. So. Which is painful.
That's incredible.
100% do not recommend. Yeah. But really, actually, dude, I do recommend it almost. Like, I think for anybody out there that may listen to this in the future or now that has any problem with drugs, dude, if it's not something that can kill you, like I know, you know, alcohol abuse, you have to be treated somewhere. Like, it can kill you. Yeah. So, but if it's just a lot of pain, which 99% of people can't handle, dude, just handle it. Like, if you handle it, you will never do that again. Like, I think that taught me, like, when I was through it, like 3 months later, yeah, I looked back and was like, dude, that pain I will remember forever. Like, that's a kind of mental anguish, and like, because it's not just physical, man. It's like the worst physical pain, but the mental stuff on top of it, like, you really just want to kill yourself, dude. Yeah. You'd rather somebody shoot you, like, as bad as that sounds. I'm laughing, but it's not funny, but you know what I mean. So I think that taught me just to be like, dude, never do that again. Yeah. That's like, always remember that and how bad that hurt mentally and physically, and just get past it. Yeah. And then once I got into jiu-jitsu with you guys at Kogan, I just realized, dude, this is the first time in 9.5 years I've had all these good people around me. Like, they're just good people. Like, they really are, dude. Like, there's nobody there. Like, if you had to like, we're like, I'll give you $500,000 right now if you can name the shittiest person there, I'd be like, dude, I don't even know who that is.
Right.
Like I'd have to like do a survey amongst them like to find out. But
so true,
yeah,
bro.
dude, like the owners, like Matt, Rob, Bowie, you guys have helped me like immensely. Like you have for sure, definitely. Like everyone there is like always trying to help you learn, trying to better you. I don't feel like there's ever any negativity in that place unless it's like something stupid. You know what I mean? It's like somebody gets pissed at somebody for rolling too hard or some shit. But like even that, when's the last time you've seen anybody? You know what I mean? I've just never really seen any negativity there. So, saying all that, it's definitely been a huge part of my life to help me move forward and just be mentally and physically as tough as I possibly can be. Because I feel like even with what's going on right now, dude, with coronavirus, like, and I don't mean to be insensitive too, because I know a lot of people are shutting down businesses. I mean, so are we, man. Like with Connector, like financially, you know, we're in a pickle too, like everybody else, man. Like we got to figure out how to pivot and make this work, just like everybody else. You know, we're not doing bad, we're not doing great because of this. Like everyone is in the same position. Yeah. But this is like not pressure, dude. Like to me, like that's kind of how I feel. Like this is like an obstacle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like anything, really. Like if it's not gonna kill you, bro, it's not. You're straight. Like you can do it. You know what I mean? Like the people that are like going through this right now, plus have like terminal cancer, like that's pressure.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or the person that's walking like 12 miles for water every day in Africa or some shit. That's pressure, dude. Like, and they might not even think of it like that. That's just life to them, dude. Yeah. But if you had to do that right now, you'd be like, dude, like this is fucked up, dude. You know? And I think just like people look at things in a way where they make this big monster in their head of everything. And it's like, dude, this is not like just move forward, stick and move, bro. You know what I mean? Just keep rolling through the obstacles and you can get through anything really, man.
Well, yeah, that's something I was going to mention because I always like to look at the worst stuff that happened in people's lives and see how it's, affecting them positively now. For sure. And so, like you were saying just about like, physical pain, like you did your workout earlier and that's nothing because of
it doesn't matter.
But that same thing, like that mental aspect of just like, I've been through what's like the worst thing with, what seems like the absolute worst thing. So everything else is a breeze. And I feel like that's where you can really like help people, and where you are helping people is just showing that like just the positivity that you bring and the mindset just to know that like, dude, you're not, it could be worse.
Oh, it could always be worse. Yeah. Man. Even when you're at I don't know, dude. I just think any situation you get yourself in or you find yourself in, you could just be like, all right, like I'm going to lay down and die and let this destroy me mentally or physically, or I'm just going to kill it. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's no in between. If you try to find an in between, you'll lose. The negativity is always going to take over, man. Always. I don't care who you are. If you get into a negative pattern for 3 days, your next 4 are going to be negative. Yeah. If you get into a negative pattern for a half hour and you realize, dude, these are my thoughts. Like I control all this shit. I'm driving, right? I'm on the highway. I'm driving. I don't need to swerve the car all over the place. There's nothing going on. I'm just going to keep driving. The road's clear, dude. Like that's kind of how I look at it.
I love that.
Yeah, man. The road's clear. Just keep going. You'll be fine. Like, everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to work out. You have so little control over so many things that if you take just the tiny little things and try and control them in your life, like you're working out, your diet, like everything you're doing with this, trying to grow this, like, dude, the world could end tomorrow, you know what I mean? But you still gotta fucking keep doing your shit. What are you gonna do? Just give up? Like, I don't understand that mentality at all.
I love that.
Yeah, man. It's just, but yeah, if I can give that to everybody, that's great,
bro.
So where did like the real positivity like start coming in? When did you really find like that you were just being positive and really just take like, I don't know, kind of making the most of everything?
Dude, I basically started from nothing.
Yeah.
So, like, when I got clean, I had nothing, dude. No job, no money, no place to live, no car, no nothing. No credit, a record, all kinds of... there's a lot. There's a lot of shit. So, like, I basically looked at it as, like... I told my friend this the other day. I was like, most people would have looked at that as, like, how am I going to do this, man? I can't do this. Like, this is not fair or whatever. No, it's fair. It's definitely fair. I did it. Right? It's for sure fair. aside from that, I could either look at it as a detriment and I did all this shit, or I could look at it as, dude, I'm 30, I have a clean slate right now. Like as bad as it sounds, man, dude, some people, and I'm really not trying to offend anybody, it's just my opinion.
Yeah.
You could be 30 and in a miserable marriage with 4 kids and now you can't chase your dreams and you're making $30,000 a year and that's what you got to do for the next 30 years because you have kids to take care of now, dude. You got other lives. Or you could just be, still on drugs or whatever the case may be. Dude, it could be any number of situations besides, I have a blank slate in front of me. I'm 30 years old.
Yeah.
I'm going to hopefully live for another 40 plus years if I play my cards right. Right?
Yeah.
That's what we all want. So,
right.
dude, it's not to me, it's like not a race. It's more of like, I'm playing the long game, bro.
I love that.
Like there's no point in trying to like, I need all this now because I missed all these years. Like, I'll be totally honest. There's sometimes I lay in bed at night, bro, and I'm like, dude, what did you do with your 20s, man? Like, what the fuck, And in 10 minutes, I'll tell you, like, maybe to an hour, I'll be like, dude, no, fuck that. You're not even letting that creep, because those thoughts, like, they creep in,
Absolutely.
dude. And once they get embedded in there, dude, they're in there for like a week. It fucks you up with work, with jiu-jitsu, with everything, dude.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if you can not let those thoughts creep in and you can just stay on course, everything is good, man.
Yeah, bro.
Everything's straight.
So that's wild. So when we met, you were on the upswing, but you weren't where you're at now. So let's talk a little bit about that. Kind of where you were at when we met. 'Cause I think were you working at Giant, correct?
Yeah, I was just like stocking shelves.
Yeah, stocking shelves.
Unloading trucks and stuff.
And yeah, so let's talk about just the transition between then and now. So at this point you're clean, I guess. You're living in Maryland now, and you're just starting jiu-jitsu. So take me a little bit from there and to where you are now, because I really want to get into connector and that sort of thing a little bit more.
Okay, so I just started working at a grocery store when I moved here because I needed a job.
Yeah.
And it just, look, man, I was miserable, bro. Like, all honesty. And you see I'm pretty positive. Like, I just was like, dude, I cannot stock shelves for the rest of my life. I just can't do this. This is like not who I am. I knew, like, from that point, I was like, you're too, like, not too smart, but I can do other stuff. This is not what I want to do. I don't want to say I'm too smart because then other people that are doing that are going to get depressed, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, they're probably too smart to be doing it too.
Yeah.
Like, nobody needs to be doing that, really.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think at that point I was just like, dude, like, let me just ride this out a little bit. Like, I wanted to pay for Kogan and stuff, like, just little things, my phone. So I was like, all right, just bottom of the barrel, just do this shit, right? Could be worse.
Yeah.
You could be doing any number of shitty things that is not just stocking shelves, listening to headphones at night. I was working night shifts too, bro. So I was working from like, I think 11 to like 7 in the morning. It sucked, bro. It sucked. So, eventually I worked that for, I don't know, a couple months, man. And then I really just quit at some point because we had like a misunderstanding, and they were just like, well, like, I don't know, like, essentially they wanted me to do something when I had taken off. They gave me off, right? And they were just like, look, you can either like take this day off that we already approved, essentially, or you can quit. And I know in my head at that moment, I was like, nobody is ever going to talk to me like this again in my life. Like, it's just never happening, dude. Because it happened to me as a kid. It's probably happened to a lot of people.
Yeah, man.
Like, where they're like, do this or you're fucked. You know what I mean? Because I'm your boss. Like, I said so. Dude, you don't own me. You don't own any part of this, bro. And I was just like, if that's how you feel, like, professionally, I quit. That's fine.
Good for you.
And I walked out the door, and that was that. And then I didn't have a job for like a couple months. And turns out one of my close friends from when I was in high school started this app, Connector. And we just, dude, it was totally, it's another serendipitous thing that's happened to me where like, we were messaging. I was like, dude, I'm like happy for you. And I was super positive about it. I think maybe that is why this happened, Because I was just like, dude, I didn't ask him for anything. I was just like, dude, I'm happy for you. This is awesome. I saw the news article because that's how I found out it was him. I basically was just searching online for different jobs, and I saw just an article saying that they were new in Baltimore. It's a new app, and I saw his name in the article. Yeah, so it was like totally random. So I was like, oh, dude, that's art. Like, that's awesome, you know? So he started talking to me about like, hey, so what are you doing right now and all this stuff. And we had a conversation. And then like, dude, maybe like 3 days later, like it was like no time at all. He hit me up and was like, do you want to like come in and we could talk and maybe we can find a spot for you or whatever. And he offered me a position. And I think from then to now, we've just been trying to like carve out what that is. So I'm basically our director of marketing, but I do a whole bunch of other stuff. I mean, it's a startup, man. Like, there's not a lot of us, so we do whatever needs to be done, really. Yeah. So we'll just be like, hey, look, you know, Miles and Art are the two founders. You know, if they ask me to do something, I do it pretty much at this point. But I'm pretty large part of the company at this point. From my perspective, it feels good to be involved in it. Yeah. I mean, I'm not making a ton of money. Like, I don't want anybody to think I'm like a crazy tech guy or something, because, you know, people just get ridiculous with that too. Like, yeah. We're like, I mean, we've been launched for like maybe 9 months now, something like that. But we're doing great, man. So like into the future, this could be really good for everybody involved. And it's just something that I'm like super proud to be a part of, and I'm happy. Like, I go to work and I never hate it. I don't think many people can say that, man. Yeah. Like, how many people do you know that go into work every fucking day and are like, I don't hate being here. I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
It's so true, man.
Yeah. Like, finding that, like, the money almost, like, if you can survive, like, it doesn't matter past that point. I feel like you want it. Yeah, everybody wants, you know, nice shit. But past that, if you can survive and you're happy, that happiness is worth so much more to me right now. Yeah. To where I'm just like, dude, this is amazing. I get to go do this awesome shit every day. Like, cool. So that's where I'm at with that, man. I love it. It's good.
Cool, yeah. I remember when you started working for Connector, just seeing like your demeanor change even more. Like you became even more positive. Like, I could tell you were enjoying what you were doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Which was sweet for me to see. Yeah. And that's one thing too, man. I just feel like if you're, like you said, if you're not miserable going to work every day, if you're enjoying it, I just feel like if that's where you're starting, then the monetary stuff will come. Like, if you're starting from a place of fulfillment, purpose, happiness, then the rest will come. For sure. So the one other thing that's crazy to me just is the fact that like you were just saying a little while ago, I wrote it down so I didn't forget, but just the fact that you reaching out to that guy and being like, man, I think it's cool, like your startup, just the positivity is, you know, like kind of what got you to the next step. So just showing that you looking out for other people and you just being positive created opportunities like right there. It's pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah, dude. Powerful.
Yeah.
Definitely powerful.
No pun intended.
I like it. No pun intended.
Yeah. Yeah, man, the positivity is contagious, I think.
It's true, bro.
Whether you're like even on the mats or at work or in your relationship or whatever it may be, if you're positive, 9 times out of 10 people around you will be positive. And I'll be totally honest, if they aren't, you might need to get away from those people.
That's true, bro.
That's just a fact. Like, dude, it could be your best friend for 10 years, but sometimes they're like, oh, why do you want to do that? That's never going to work. Dude, I'm never going to know. If you haven't done it, I probably won't take your advice. Yeah. Like, that's just how I feel. You know what I mean? It's like somebody who's not a millionaire telling somebody how to make millions of dollars. Like, it's not okay. Like, it's stuff you've read, which I've read too, right? But you're not the person that did it. That's who I need advice from. And even then, it might not be positive. Yeah. So, if you keep your circle tight, man, for lack of a better term, and you just keep everybody around you that's positive and good people, I mean, good shit happens.
I completely agree. I think I'm glad you brought that up, man. Just because having like just positive people around you, dude, even like you, like helping me with so much marketing stuff and just being like, hey, bro, like keep it up, you're doing the right thing, as it, like pushes me and it makes me transfer that to other people, bro. Like, this world is all energy, man. Yeah, dude. It's like, you know, and I believe in karma, and I believe that the world is literally it's just all energy, and the energy that you put out, you're going to receive back in some way. So it's cool to see where you're at now, just like the positivity and a lot of the energy that you've given is starting to kind of repay itself.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So talk a little bit more about Connector, and just what you guys do and where you're at now and the future and that sort of thing.
Yeah, man. So we, if you are a logo designer, you design websites, or you do photography, we link you with people who need those services, but it's all local. Right now, we're basically in Baltimore, like the DMV area, and then we'll expand like everywhere eventually. But I mean, it's been great, like with respect to the work that's been done, everything in that respect. All of our providers are super professional. So if you need something for your business, you can come to us and get it, and the pricing is great. But if you're also a person that wants to offer those services and you're not trying to just hire somebody, you can put yourself on Connector and you can make money from home. So I mean,
it's a cool concept, man.
Yeah, and right now it's like perfect.
Yeah.
Because everybody, we can't even touch each other. You know what I mean? People
right.
are like, people are crazy right now.
Right.
So like, if you can design 10 logos in a month at, $150 a piece or whatever it is, I mean, you're straight, right?
Yeah.
On top of that, we do rewarded recommendations. So basically, if you know somebody who needs a logo and I design logos, right? And you link me with that person, you get paid too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
bro.
so you get a piece. So it's kind of like Fiverr meets like LinkedIn,
Nice.
almost, where it's like there's a social network aspect. It's not like Facebook or something,
Right,
but
right.
you have like your network. You can connect different people and message each other. All the payments and everything are done in chat securely. Like everything is pretty on point, man.
Damn.
Tech is pretty good.
Nice,
so
man.
far. So, and we're fine tuning it as we go too.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Well, you have to keep me updated on where that's going in the future. And
Of course,
I know it's
yeah.
crazy times right now. I appreciate you making the time to come do this too.
Definitely, bro.
Because I know some people have been like, I don't know, not willing to do stuff like this. But,
Oh, I don't care, man.
But man,
yeah, we're good.
It's just cool. It's just cool, bro. Like me and like the Kogan owners talk about it a lot, but and we talk about it with a lot of people at Kogan because, like we talked about, Kogan's an awesome place. But dude,
Yeah.
like we talk about you, man, and we're like, he's just one of those people that it's really good to have him here, man. And
Oh, that's
nice. We're
that
super
makes
proud.
me feel good.
Dude, no, like it's crazy, bro. Especially hearing this, like a lot of this stuff's new for me to hear.
Oh, for
too.
sure. Yeah, there's a lot, bro. Yeah.
There's a lot. And I know there's more that you haven't even gotten into, but like,
For sure.
bro, from a personal level, I'm super proud. Like
Thank you, man.
from hearing that of where you're at right now. And I'm excited for the future, man. I'm
Definitely,
really,
me too, man.
It's super cool. Let's start. Let's finish, I guess, with what I call it like the one truth. But it's like if you were gone tomorrow, if you could leave just one core piece of value and advice for people, what would that be?
If you know yourself, you can do whatever you want. And by that, I mean if you know what you're good at or you know what you love and you take it step by step, you can do anything. Nobody is stopping you. There's no invisible man out there telling you can't fucking do it. There's no, that's not going to work. You'll make it work if you want it bad enough. I'll leave you with that.
Boom. I love it, dude.
Right.
Seriously, though, you represent everything I'm trying to do with Powerful One. Just being powerful in who you are and what you do. And
Powerful.
just spreading positivity and spreading,
Thank
just that good energy, bro.
For sure.
So where can people find you on, social media, Connector, that sort of thing?
At social media, at Pechilloo. So it's just my last name with 3 O's because some asshole took my name. And at Connector, we're at Connector, KNCTRR_app.
Nice.
And that's us. Come see us.
Sweet. And then if you want to see David at Kogan, come swing by Kogan. It's the best place
Let's
to train,
roll.
man.
For sure.
Dude, seriously though, man, I really appreciate you as a person. I appreciate you
Definitely,
making time
man. I
to do
appreciate
this.
you too.
Hell yeah, bro.
Awesome.
Awesome. We out.
Perfect. Peace.